Did you know that sound levels over 85 decibels could potentially impair your hearing and hurt your ears in the long run? Me neither. So 85 decibels could potentially impair your hearing. That's equivalent to the sound of a blender, so that is enough to hurt your ears. That one dude from Will It Blend must be going deaf. I'm sure you heard it before, your grandparents yelling at you, your mom and dad yelling at you, don't listen to your music too loud, you're gonna blow out your eardrums, you're gonna hurt your ears. And they must be all getting together and form Puro Sound Labs because Puro is a company that put out these new wireless Bluetooth headphones targeted towards kids that really level and cap music out at over 85 decibels. So yeah, at over 85 decibels, these things will not increase volume at all. That is the cap that these are set towards. So yes, Puro is a company aiming this pair of headphones directly towards kids. But before we get into the details and all that stuff about the headphones, let's just take a look around it and see the features. The headphones themselves are very clean and simple. On the left ear cup, you'll have an LED light indicator, a Bluetooth button, an on and off button, volume increase, volume decrease, 3.5mm headphone jack, and a micro USB charging slot. And that's really it. Now, when you look at them, they're kind of, they're not the prettiest. They're not the greatest looking things I've seen. This is the tan and gold color, but it's very similar to that champagne color we've seen on a lot of the new iOS devices, such as the new iPhone, where it's not gold, it's that light champagne. But they also had a white and silver option, which I thought was much nicer and cleaner and appealing to me. I asked for that version. Unfortunately, I got these. But, whatever. I'm not going to be wearing these out in public or anything like that. And kind of thinking about it, I guess your kids, if you're getting these just for your kids, they're not going to complain too much about the color. But I don't see a little kid walking around sporting tan and gold headphones. I feel like they like, normal like blues and reds and greens. Whites, yeah, the white option's nice, and the black option I think would be even better. I just don't see kids wearing these anytime soon. Not really kid friendly. Maybe a diva kid, I don't know. Anyway, so yes, they are completely wireless. They're Bluetooth. And it's very simple. I didn't even look at the instructions in order to pair them with my iOS phone. Just got them booted up. You turn the pair of headphones on. You go into your Bluetooth settings. You click the Bluetooth button on the ear cup, and bam, you are automatically connected. And what's pretty cool is they also have their own Puro app, which has a bunch of different EQ settings. You can mess with the EQ in there to kind of tune the music how you want it to sound. Now, during my review process, I had to kind of stop and take a step back because I was being very critical on these. And then I quickly remembered, oh yeah, these aren't for adults, they're for kids. But from my adult standpoint, my overall reaction to these is they are not made for me at all. The ear cups are way too small. They're kind of, there's no direct spec on these, but they look to be around 20 millimeters. And again, too small for me. But if you have a kid, aged anywhere, I would say from 5 to 11, these are going to be great for. The size, they barely fit on my head. I had to stretch these to the fullest, the length on these. I had to extend them all the way, and it's still kind of stretching. And just the ear cups, these are very on the ear and kind of tight since I am stretching them out. And I don't have a big head. I'm not a melon head at all, and I had a hard time fitting these on. But again, not for adults, not for anybody, just for kids. So on a small child, these are going to fit probably just fine. And the sound, how do they sound? Well, had them hooked up to my phone, listening to some music throughout the day when I was just hanging out around the apartment. A bunch of different music too, from jazz to hip hop and rap, electronic dance music to just regular rock. And they sound not too bad until it got to the point where I was listening to music that required a lot of ambient noise to be heard or a lot of bass hits. That's really started kind of to lack because since these are capped off at 85 decibels, you're not going to hear the full range of music. These virtually have no bass, kind of unfortunate to say. But again, guys, these are for kids. Kids aren't going to be listening to music just for bass. If you're in the car or something, if your family is traveling on a road trip and they want to watch a movie on their iPod, you can throw these on their head, pair it up with the iPad, and they can sit comfortably in the back listening to the music, listening to the movie audio on these pairs of headphones, and you won't have to worry about it damaging their ears or them potentially, turning the volume all the way up and damaging their ears themselves without even knowing it. They're also nice enough to include a little carrying pouch, and inside you will find 2 extra cables. I'm taking them out now. You will see these are both flat wire cables, so that's very nice. And flat wire usually is tangle proof, so that's a big bonus, especially for kids. They're not going to be tangling them up. This is just a 3.5mm headphone jack to 3.5mm adapter. So the both male adapter means you're going to be able to plug these in if they do die to your whatever device you're using these with without having to use the battery, which is pretty cool. Then the other cable is going to be the USB adapter, because yes, since these are wireless and Bluetooth, they will die. But the great thing is about these that they actually have a pretty good battery life. They have 18 hours of battery life listening for music playback, and I would assume that would be just any audio playback, and 200 hours of standby. So if your kid, leaves these on accident and forgets to shut them off, you don't have to worry about them dying right away. You probably won't have to charge it every night. So that's kind of good. So when Puro initially approached me about these headphones, I thought it was very unique because I've never seen really headphones that were stylish and looked nice, but targeted just for kids and had a certain sound level cap. And I said, yeah, I'll try them out. I'll give them my thoughts and opinions and try to spin it towards my audience. And like I said earlier, when I was doing my review, I just had to take a step back and judge them for how they are. For kids' headphones, yeah, sure, they're great. I would buy these for my kids because I wouldn't have to worry about them damaging their ears. They're probably going to be comfortable for them since these are, fit for a small child's head. And Bluetooth, no wires, that's a big bonus as well. But obviously from an adult standpoint, from an audiophile standpoint, from anybody who wants to use these as their main headphones, if you're over the age of 14 or 15, these are just not going to be for you. Alright everybody, that's been my review of the BT2200s, which is their product number, from Puro Labs. Again, the kid-safe headphones. So if you're in the market for something like this for your kids, definitely check them out. Again, they're called Puro Labs. But remember, if you're an adult, don't get these for you. And if your kid is kind of picky, if he or she is a brat and doesn't like, champagne and tan or white and silver, you're going to be out of luck. But I would say go with the white and silver. They're the most aesthetically pleasing looking ones out of the 2 options. So definitely check them out. If you like the video, like the review, give it a thumbs up for me, show your support. If you have any questions at all, you can comment down below. Or you can always hit me up on Twitter at randomfrankp. I'm always on Twitter 24/7 engaging with my fans and subscribers. So if you have any questions at all, you just want to interact with me, I do a bunch of channel updates and I kind of like sneak peek stuff on Twitter before the video comes out. So if you're into Twitter, definitely follow me on there at randomfrankp. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. I've done a ton of tech stuff in the past, and I got a ton more planned for the future. So if this is your kind of genre you like to watch videos on, I got you covered. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I'm Random Frank P. Have a good day.